Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Ocean's Pit, the little show about big things. I hope you guys are doing great. It's a beautiful day today. It is August 16th. We got a special show lined up for you guys today. First of all, thank you all for tuning in every day, Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon, a little lunchtime fun, and it's been a busy week, folks. Thank you for everybody that showed up at Taylor Street Italian Fest. The night we were there, almost 8,000 people the night we were there, right in front of that stage. It was fantastic. I don't know how many they had for all 4 days, but Ron Onesti did it again, and there was no rain whatsoever. So the band was on fire. Thank you so much. Again, thank you everybody showing up to Pier 290 Saturday night in Lake Geneva. It was a great success. And don't forget, Sunday, thank you everybody who showed up to Steve Mongo McMichael ALS benefit for ALS. And, of course, Steve McMichael, the Bears, suffering from ALS, a horrible, crippling disease. And Mega Events, thank you, Big Mike, for including Ocean's Rat Pack. We do a lot of shows with Big Mike. He's the one that brought us to Arizona. We're going back again there in March. But it was great. Now, today, folks, first of all, we know what today is. It's August 16th. 2022, but August 16th, 1977, one of the biggest music legends in the world died, passed away, drug overdosed, choked. I don't know. There's so many different things of how of course, we're talking about Elvis Aaron Presley, one of the greatest entertainers of all time. He has influenced so many people. Just to make sure we clarify this, I am not a crazy Elvis fan. I do like Elvis. I didn't care for his shenanigan karate chops and stuff on stage and all that kind of. I didn't get in all that. I didn't understand that. I was more a 60s, 70s, 80s, early 70s Elvis. I was more an Elvis guy when he got a little older. The Vegas Elvis was more my favorite. But we got a great guest on today who is a great Chicago entertainer. And, of course, his voice covers a lot of great different entertainers, and he does it in his own way. And we're talking about my good friend, Mr. Rick Lindy. And before we bring Rick Lindy on, check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. Give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Now, remember, folks, I got great news, too. This Friday, coming up August 19th, our guest will be the legendary Tom Dreesen. Tom Dreesen of What Funny Man from Chicago. He's been open for Frank Sinatra for so many years. Tom Dreesen will be our guest this Friday on Ocean's Pit. I'm excited. All right, let's get back to today. Before we get into the whole Elvis thing, let's take care of some business, and we're talking about sponsors. Let's talk about Roy McCampbell Law Group. Roy McCampbell, attorney at law, statewide law practice that is client-focused and results-driven. Please give Roy a call at 708-275-4264. Also, let's not forget our good friends from Deutsch Power Center, Great Lakes servicing the construction and diesel industry in the Chicagoland area for the last 100 years. Call our friend Sal at 224-276-65500. Also, let's not forget my wife's company, Laura Ocean Solutions, increasing profits while reducing credit card fees. If you have a company that uses credit cards, check my wife's page out, LauraOceanSolutions.com. She's got a lot of clients, and she saves people a lot of money. Why? Because she's got no middleman. She owns the company. Check it out, LauraOceanSolutions.com. Folks, don't forget Airtight Windows. Our good buddy Lou from Airtight Windows Siding and Specialist, family owned for 30 years. For honesty and quality, do it right with Airtight Windows. Give Lou a call at 708-788-5000. Tell him Tonio sent you. Don Esteban Cigars. Get those hand-rolled cigars delivered right to your home, natural or dark, whatever you like. He's got them. Call Javier. He's from Tarpon Springs, Florida, and he'll bring them right to your home. Deliver them right there, 727-366-7536. You can see the show on the Tony Ocean Show Facebook page, which you're seeing right now. You can also go to Twitter right now and see the show. You can also go to YouTube right there, bottom of the screen, and you can see the show there. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you guys can do me all a favor, push that button and share it on your phone. Share the show, the little show about big things, supporting local establishments and local entertainers and A lot of fun. Last but not least, Trico Hair Experts out of Rosemont, Illinois. Carmela and Anthony do an incredible job recreating great hair days for men, women, and children. Give them a call at 773-999-7888. All right, so Elvis Presley died. It's the quote in the newspaper, the day the world stood still. When Buddy Holly and they all passed away, it was the day the music died. It can also be the day the music died when Elvis died, because Elvis has got such an enormous following of people. Some people actually still believe he's alive, but we know that's not true. And what he's done for music, for fashion, and he's influenced so many great different singers. There's over a handful of ones just in Chicago alone. I think everybody that I know in the music business sings an Elvis song, whether it's an early one or a late one, but it's big. And we're going to talk all Elvis with my good buddy, Rick Lindy. Now, before we do that, let me tell you what's going on this week. This Thursday, Positano's in Oak Brook with Lisa P. and Rhino Ryan, 7 o'clock. You know how busy that place gets packed. We do fill them in, so get there early. It's going to be a great show. Friday night, returning to Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg with Jerry Jams Renda. And Saturday, one of the biggest shows of our year is the Great Mars Resort in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, Lake Como this Saturday, August 20th. That's going to be from 4 to 8 p.m. outside on the water. Rhino Ryan and Tony Toto. That's this Saturday, folks, August 20th. All right. Let's not forget, folks, busy stuff coming up. Busy stuff next week. JC Pub on the 25th of August, Wednesday, Thursday. Pasta Mia outside patio in Bartlett next Friday. Of course, Chicago Prime. And next Saturday. Taverna next Saturday on Division. And it'll also be Rhino Ryan's last day with us, folks. Of course, our sound guy and guy who's been with me a long time, my very good friend, is moving to North Carolina. His last show will be Saturday, August 27th at Taverna outside on the patio. It's going to be a big bash. August 31st, we go back to Rosario's. And September, Labor Day weekend, September 2nd, September 1st, we will be at Zaza's with Nixa Hodges, the piano man. It's going to be fun in Lake Barrington. The 2nd will be at the Taste of Melrose Park. Now, we're there from 7 to 10:30. First half is with Ocean's Rat Pack, Bill Saratella, Elliot Wimbush, and yours truly. Second half is the Tony Ocean Show with the main event band. It's going to be a lot of fun, Taste of Melrose. Saturday, headline, and you know it, September Fest on a side stage. Not on the tent anymore. They moved it to the big stage. So we're going to be there on Labor Day weekend with the main event band. And then Sunday, back at Pier 290, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, to round off the Labor Day weekend. All right, September 18th, St. Jude's benefit. Again, we've done it every year since it started, 10, 15 years ago with Carl Doty and Paula Doty at the Melrose Park Civic Center, along with the Jersey Girls and the Rat Pack and Diva Montel and Nixa Hodges and all the crew, and all the money goes for St. Jude's. We'll talk more about that, of course, headed by Carl Doty and Jerry Jams Renda. So it will be a lot of fun. Elvis Presley, 45th anniversary. I think he died at the age of 42 years old. Before we break Rick on, let's see what we got. Kathy, 45 years ago. Yes, Kathy, you're correct. Lillian, how you doing? Watching a documentary, Elvis Found Alive. Did you see that documentary? Yeah, well, you can believe whatever you're going to believe. Mary, they're forecasting rain. The showing will still go on, folks, at Mars. It doesn't rain all day. Every time we play Mars, it rains right before we go on. We put the tent on. It's going to happen. Get your ass out there. It's going to be fun. Hound Dog was my very first record, Craig Olson, 1956. Hound Dog that's the Elvis I don't like. I don't like all that early teddy bear and all that bullshit. I was working with Wrigley Field. It came over the PA when Elvis passed, Joe. Yeah, it was big news, folks. Lori, Franny, how you doing? Leonard Michelli from Florida. We have St. Louis watching, Ohio, New York, New Jersey. Hello, Venezuela. Kim Peterson, LaFew, John Davey up in Michigan. Elvis, greatest entertainer of all, karate chops and all. All right, Paul, you can keep the karate chops. I'll watch Bruce Lee for that. But anyway, Brenda, yes, you got to love it. Bob Pucci, great Chicago guitar player in the Chicagoland area. Me and Bob putting some stuff together, maybe a new Rod Stewart band. I'm looking forward to that. Kathy Lazaro, hope you're doing. Kim, how you doing from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin is watching. Anthony Napolitano, taking care of business. Thank you, Dave. The show on Sunday, thank you. We had a great time at Pier T90. We really do appreciate it. Professor Darrell, how you doing? Okay, so thank you all. I had a pleasure of seeing Elvis perform at Chicago Stadium in the summer of '72. Ooh, Linda, very lucky. To see Elvis live had to be huge. Like I've seen Frank Sinatra over 100 times. To me, is there a difference? Yes, obviously. Frank and Elvis influenced. Did Elvis probably influenced a lot more rock and rollers than Frank Sinatra did? But today is about Elvis Presley. And there's so many fans out there. And we have a lot of good questions and a lot of good stuff we're going to talk about. One of the premier entertainers in the Chicagoland area, full-time, just like I am. And he's been busting his balls about the same time we have. I mean, Ricky was in my band for a very short period of time. And I love to hang out with Rick, but we just don't get a chance to. Besides loving the Three Stooges and the Honeymooners and making monster models. And he's an incredible what he does. He's going to teach me how to do that thing with the spray gun, because I'm still using the stupid brush. Yeah, I've never saw Elvis. We'll ask Rick if he did, and we'll find out some information. So without any further ado, hold on. One headline news, folks. First Lady Jill Biden has got COVID-19. First Lady Jill Biden has COVID-19. Her husband, of course, President Joe Biden, did have COVID twice. Now Jill Biden, First Lady, or Dr. Jill Biden, if that's what she call her. She has COVID, so hopefully she's okay. Jerry Jams, how you doing? Lillian, saw her Saturday, awesome. Yeah, Ronnie B did a good job, I heard, at Coach's Corner. Another great Elvis guy. One thing I want to make sure everybody knows about Rick Lindy, he's not an Elvis impersonator. He's not an impersonator of anybody. Rick puts his own twist into Roy Orbison and Elvis and gospel and rock and roll and country western. He puts his own thing into it. That's what makes Rick and the Wild Ones very cool, whether he does it with the band or he does it by himself. He's an extraordinary entertainer, and he's a very good friend, a loyal friend, and I love him. So let's bring him on, Mr. Cool himself, Rick Lindy. Hey, Ricky, what's up, brother? Hey, man, you're always looking cool. Do you wake up that way, too? I mean, you always look good.
Yeah, I got these Roy glasses on right now.
Very cool.
Believe it or not, I am on Michigan Avenue, South Michigan, at Subs and Pizza right now, and all day because
I love that place. I love
great people.
Yeah. I love that place, Rick. Yeah. Okay, what's the name of it? Oh, yeah, there you go. All right. Fontanos in the city of Chicago.
And I am sitting on the corner of Van and down here in Chicago today. I've been hanging out to the American Academy of Art, where I went regular art because I'm an artist. Is doing music.
Very cool.
It's wonderful, and there's a beer garden here, so I'm not talking soup from the owners to be here, and I told them I'd real nice. They let me use the bathroom here, and
you get to use the bathroom.
It's been great.
You get to use the bathroom. Ricky, let's get with some Elvis, man. Elvis died 45 years, whatever, right? He was 42 years old, August 16th, 1977. Right. We were both at a younger age. Where were you at the time?
You know what? I was skateboarding home. And I grew up in Roselle. Sunnyside Road, skateboarding home, about something like that. Walked in the kitchen. You're not going to believe it. Elvis was an Elvis fan because I already of Elvis and the Beatles started, and so I was always a big Elvis from early on, and depressed about it and sad, the next day, Groucho Marx died. And because Elvis died, kind of Groucho. I don't know if you remember that, but
yeah. You're right about that, Rick, because Groucho to me Groucho was one of my influences too. I loved Groucho Marx with his wit and everything he did. And you're right, just because we didn't get so much coverage of that because of Groucho Marx, you're absolutely right. It's almost like when Dean Martin died on Christmas Day. A lot of people didn't hear about it when Dean Martin died. So Elvis Presley died. You heard about it. What can you say about Elvis, man? What he did for music, what he did for all the entertainers out there. Well, let's get to some of this now. Actually, tonight, folks, in Graceland at 8:20 p.m. Central Time, they will do. Virgil will come out and do the candlelight ceremony for Elvis's death today. So we probably see that on the Elvis sites if you probably are Facebook fans and you can look that up. But it will be happening the candlelight at 8 p.m. or 8:20 p.m. For Elvis at Graceland. Rick, let's talk about some stuff. First of all, let's talk about the kind of music: rock and roll, gospel, country. Elvis did it all, and he came out with such a bang. You know, what do you think made him so much better or much different than Carl Perkins and Buddy Holly and all those guys? Why? Was Elvis better looking? What was it? What do you think it did for Elvis?
Johnny Cash and Carl Perkins, and both of them, they both said Elvis had the, which was obviously he also was, I think, because he was humble and so vibrant and energetic, gyrating on stage. It was kind of like a marriage of visual types of personalities. Also, most people on stage and off stage. I tend to be a little bit more than I am on, although I do have a, as you know.
Yeah.
On my way down between.
Rick, just to let you know, Rick, you are fading in and out when you're talking. So I'm just letting you know it might be the wind. I'm not quite sure. If you get a little closer to the mic, that might help. All right, Rick. So let's find out the 911. There you go. How about now? All right. Say something now.
I could try moving.
Okay, that's okay. Leave it like that. You're good. You're good. The 911 call. Have you ever listened to the 911 call about Elvis's death?
But I actually on YouTube hear about it. Joe Esposito that.
Now you're frozen, Rick. Now you're frozen. Which Rick Lindy is on with us, folks, talking about Elvis, but right now he is frozen. He is outside at Fontana's Subway place. Maybe he needs to go inside because he is frozen right now. Let's see. Well, we have Rick Lindy on, ladies and gentlemen. Mike. All right, Rick Lindy is out. Hopefully, we try to bring him back again. Let's see. All right, Rick, are you inside now?
Okay.
There you go. Perfect. All right. Yeah, much better.
There was like 30 people on it. So
yeah, that's okay. That's okay. You're in
the secluded corner.
Okay, that's okay. So you got the 911 call. Was that made by Joe Esposito?
Joe was one of the ones that responded finding Elvis's body. You know, Ginger had been asleep, and the last words were, he was gonna go into the bathroom reading. I guess he did some reading in there. Somebody had expensive, sadly. So
Yeah.
okay,
Well, Rick, real fast. Some people says they can't hear you. You're coming in and out, and you're. I'm hearing every other word.
no, okay.
Maybe. Let's see here. Let's keep trying to talk. Let's see.
I could try doing a connection with out there with my AT&T and see if that.
See whatever you can do here, because we'd like to get you. It's very aggravating. Just tell us a joke, yeah, because we can't hear you. We're hearing like every other word that you're coming out of your, and some people can't hear you.
Let me.
Can you hear
try
without?
logging out.
Yeah, can you hear without your earphones? I think that might be the problem.
Let's try that.
Yeah, try taking it off the phone. Just talk into the phone. All right, now you're frozen again. You're frozen again. Rick Lindy is trying to get on, folks. We're going to try to get him on. You might want to log off again and log back on again. He is outside. He was outside of Fontano's, folks, talking about Elvis. Let's see. He logged out. We're going to get him back in. So don't worry. We're going to get Rick Lindy on. Stay on. All right, Rick. Let's try to bring him on again. Rick, are you there? You talking into the phone?
How about now?
Yeah, there you go. All right. Technology, Gigi, I know sucks, doesn't it? I got it. All right, can say a few words, see if I can hear you. How about now? Yeah. All right, don't move. Stay right there. Say something. Say hello to everybody, Rick. Say hi, Rick.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me?
There you go. All right. Yeah, he can hear you. Perfect. Okay, stay right there. All right, let's get to some questions.
Hear you.
Can you hear me?
A little. It was better with my headphones on, but
you know what? Maybe try one ear. Probably try putting in one ear, so maybe you can hear. You got a lot of listeners here, and they want to listen.
I think if I put the one in, it will just use the whole thing again. So
yeah.
I'm thinking maybe I could try is not
using
Wi-Fi here and using AT&T.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can, but not as good as I could with the phones.
Okay, well, right now we have no choice at this point, so we're going to have to try to go. How is Rick Lindy associated with Elvis, Brenda? Well, Rick, this is what a fan, someone is asking here. Rick Lindy is a big follower of Elvis and does a lot of Elvis songs in his show. He is not an Elvis impersonator, so that's why we have my good friend Rick on. Rick, let's get to people who are Elvis impersonators. Do you like Elvis impersonators?
Some of them I do. I think that many compared to the early years when one of the originals was very own Rich Aceto, of course.
Yeah.
There's been, that seem to get the more attention than others, like Trent Carr last year, unfortunately. And of course, Sean Clark, and then our local guys like Ronnie B and people like that. Always enjoy. I know Johnny Carson at one time had said, if life was fair, it'd still be alive and there wouldn't be imitators. But I think, tribute artists nowadays, I think that they kind of all have their own little personalities and their, contribute their own flavor to keeping Elvis's music alive. So, of course, in that respect, I love it trying to be Elvis because there was only one,
Yeah, I agree with you, Rick. When I like some Elvis impersonators, I don't understand sometimes when some people take it a little too seriously, and sometimes people leave the house looking like Elvis when they're not working. and stuff like, you know what I mean? I understand sometimes people, it's got to be, I know you have to be in character, but sometimes I think some people might take it over the limit. I mean, I know a lot of, I don't know what that is, but Elvis is so huge to people. You know what I mean?
Yes. No, absolutely. And, you know, it's been a person that never really wanted to be anybody but Rick Lindy.
Yeah.
You know, just tried to always do my own thing, but I've always tried to get a little bit of the original songs, no matter who I'm performing the song of, to the original flavor of the song. And it's kind of do it. And in a way, I'm sure, Tony, you do probably the same thing where, you know, be true to the original, but yet get your own little twist on it too, right?
Right. They put their own twist on it. Let me ask you something, Rick. How do you think Priscilla and Lisa Marie, how do you think they'd handle the whole Graceland thing with Elvis passing away? Do you think Lisa Marie and Priscilla did a good job with Graceland after Elvis passed away?
Do I think they did a good job with Graceland?
Yeah, do you think they're keeping his life alive in front of you? Think they get a good job still doing that?
Graceland probably about 7 times over the years, starting in 1990. I have seen the museum and
The live podcast.
Graceland grow. Can you guys hear me still pretty good?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Every time I turn around, 20 more people come in the door here. Right,
yeah, I got that. But you think they had you think they did a good job in handling Graceland, promoting Elvis after his death?
Yeah, I think that there's so many people, unfortunately, that rode Elvis's coattails. You know, Colonel Chuck Parker, who supposedly took 50 over the years, and even really got sued for mismanaging estates and affairs way, which is explained in the credits after the new film. I've seen that yet. Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't seen the movie yet. I was going to ask you, Tom Parker, Colonel Tom Parker. Would have Elvis made it without Colonel Tom Parker, you believe?
Well, before Colonel Tom Parker, Elvis was already on Sun Records, and he had his mark in the music business with That's All Right, Mama, and Baby Let's Get Tonight, Blue Moon of Kentucky, and things like that. He had hit Go to the Grand Ole Opry, although he was not well received there. Somebody said, go back to driving a truck or something like that, which I think was said by someone. Scotty Moore clarified it wasn't as devastating as remark history has made it into. You know, Elvis didn't like it, but from obviously continuing on, and any band drums, they didn't do it with drums at that time at the Grand Ole Opry, and I hadn't started playing with them quite yet in 1954. But
so you think Tom Parker? Yeah, do you think Tom Parker, Colonel Tom Parker, handled? I know he got 50% of what Elvis has made. 50%. I know you're still breaking up bad, Rick, but we're still trying to do the best we can here. No, it's all right, man. Listen,
I wish I had a better.
Just to let everybody know, I called Rick out of the blue this morning. If we would have prepared it, Rick probably would have been somewhere else, but he was working downtown. So Rick is trying to do the best he can. So thank you guys for still listening in. Tom Parker, do you think he was a plus for Elvis or a minus for Elvis, in your opinion?
Well, he managed the careers now beforehand. For some reason, they never mentioned Eddie Arnold in the movie. But I think he definitely launched his career in the deal with RCA Records that he had ties to. So that way, nationally, but internationally, on a record label, which only had pretty much the South and Louisiana hayride and South to offer Elvis for promotion.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Like I said, 50%, like according to Elvis, 50, I mean, you think about it, 50% of something is 50%. It's better than 50% of nothing. I know he made a lot of money in the movies. Did you think Elvis really wanted to make those movies, Rick?
I think Elvis really wanted to do music in the movies. He wanted to be more like a Brando rather than someone that was only doing musicals and songs being in the movies. And of course, Colonel Parker said, "What, we're going to release the world's greatest new singer and have him not sing?"
Yeah, I can understand. Why is it that you believe, Rick, that Elvis never went to Europe? Is it because Tom Parker was not allowed in Europe? Why was Elvis never in Europe and only played in the United States?
Well, Elvis couldn't go to Europe because Colonel was really an illegal alien from Holland.
Yeah.
And was supposedly, he came here illegally, but he was able the U.S. Army, and being able to join the U.S. Army, I think it won because he's significantly older, or right that he took on this name Tom Parker and said he was a Southern, but he was really an illegal alien from Holland.
Right. Well, you know what? Like Gigi just says here, one of the people that are watching the show, Gigi says, in her opinion, Tom Parker was the rise and the demise of Elvis Presley. Almost, if you think about Brian Epstein with the Beatles, he put the Beatles where they were. When Brian Epstein died, in my opinion, the Beatles collapsed without somebody watching over him. And I think Gigi hit it right on the. I haven't seen the movie. I will see it when it comes to cable. When it comes to my cable thing, I will see it. But it's interesting stuff. How big is the Memphis Mafia with Elvis Presley? They were watching him, but you think they were giving him the right advice, Rick? Because when you're Elvis, everybody's telling you you're the king. You can do no wrong. Was anybody ever said, "Hey, Elvis, you might be eating too much, or the drugs might be too much"? Did anybody ever try to stop Elvis from doing all this?
Actually, some of the guys that were in the Memphis Mafia, which is what his entourage were called, many of them, including Sonny West, and had tried their best to say, "Hey, man, you're on a downward, and you need to get off this stuff." And they actually got together, and Vernon Presley were trying to give him advice. And Sonny West, I believe it was not Red West, but one of the other guys, got together, and they wrote a book called Elvis What Happened. And it was released with a lot of details about how he was becoming addicted to by that Dr. Nick that was prescribing Elvis with uppers and barbiturates and stimulation and things like that for just to keep him awake and lively and to have him go to sleep, because Elvis kept weird out. Strangely enough, in 1956, today on August 16th, so he almost had like vampire hours.
But you know what? Yeah, you know what? It's got to be very difficult. Imagine, look, Michael Jackson with the pills and the medicine, and a lot of entertainers when they thought the doctor was telling them the right thing. Look at Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys. Obviously, Brian did not die, but they put him in a comatose. And I can't imagine. We're entertainers. We're out there. We get our little bit of fame and fun when we go out there. But imagine being Elvis Presley, Rick. You can't leave the house. You can't go anywhere. I mean, it's got to be a very, very lonely life, even for Priscilla or anybody that Elvis dated. Do you like Elvis because you love him, or because of Elvis, because the uniform? It had to be very difficult.
Right. Well, what I had heard was, even though it's film, that he began taking uppers on the road prior to really what Joe Esposito said, because they met in the Army, the Chicago guy, by the way. They met in the Army, and because in the Army, a couple guys had upper here, take this, it'll make you awake on your watch. And so movies, if you've ever done a movie, I think you have. I've been an extra in the 90s, and you have to be on the set at like 4:30 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Until 2 o'clock in the morning. So a lot of those movies he made on 2-3 hours of sleep.
Right.
Up, and he took the sleeping pills to.
And they were, like you said, they were pulling him pulling on his sleeves and pulling on his arm. Elvis this, do this, do that. You know what? It had to be lonely. And then when he got into the drugs and his eating habit, is still up to one of his last performances when he was heavy. You see him doing, I think it was Unchained Melody. He was still heavy, but he still had a great voice, even at the end of his life. You know what I mean?
I almost think that his voice had developed into like an operatic style.
Yeah.
That was, and it definitely got rich with age, and is getting even better. But I really think if you listen to the tone recordings when he did It's Now or Never right after the Army, there was something very, very pristine about his voice. And then after the movie years, when he got like the Nashville recordings and the blues stuff, there was like a gritty edge to it. Back where there's like a gritty, hardcore edge to his voice, and then more of a operatic kind of feel to it in his years. We say older, but geez, he's only 42 when he passed away,
Yes. I mean, think about it. It's just like the Beatles when they broke up. They were like 26, 27 years old. I mean, it's just crazy. Rick, what do you think would have been like if Elvis did go to Japan and did go to Europe? It would have been even bigger than the Beatles.
Oh, absolutely. The thing that's wild is I had the opportunity for 8 years, and I used to go there 3-4 times a year. And just absolutely love Americana rock and roll. Even there's a whole clique to it, and they live the lifestyle. They have 50. They collect nostalgia jukeboxes, the whole works. The culture that's in those countries are like some of the fests that we have, or something like that. That's their culture, is their ties, sort of like the Italian fest has its own, but they take the American traditions and they've adapted it to their own lives. And I think it would have been huge if Elvis went to Europe. And of course, in Japan, people haven't been there, but I know they eat up like Brian Setzer and the Stray Cats.
He would have. Yeah, I mean, he would have took over the whole world. You're right, Rick. Now let's talk about real fast is recordings. That Elvis have all the say on what songs he think he would be recording on the records, or did Colonel Tom Parker give him songs he had to do? Was that his choice or his musical director? Do you know anything about that? I mean, the songs that he picked to do live or the songs that he picked to do on records?
Well, to quote Colonel Tom Parker, because he did an interview at about 1980, 3 years after Elvis died, maybe 81. One of his only interviews, and he said, "I never controlled what's. I made one recommendation to Elvis to sing Are You Lonesome Tonight?" Hit first for Al Jolson in the very, very early 50s when Al Jolson made a country. The Al Jolson story and Jolson Sings Again were made in Marks as Al Jolson. And Al Jolson started becoming in his early 50s, recorded Are You Lonesome Tonight? And Colonel Tom recommended that song.
Elvis to do that.
Yeah.
So he recommended. So Colonel Tom recommended him to sing "Are You Lonesome Tonight?" Correct?
That's right. And when Elvis did "Are You Lonesome," to get the vibe that they wanted for turned all the lights off in Studio B, so he recorded that song in the dark too.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Rick. If Elvis was still alive today, he wouldn't be that old. What do you think he'd be doing right now? You think he'd still be doing the Vegas thing, or you think he would have retired? What do you think Elvis Presley would have been doing if he did not pass away at such a young age?
If his health was as good as someone like Tom Jones, I think he would have enjoyed singing. I think he would have. He seemed to always change with every decade, so I think he would have latched on. I can't see that he'd be doing rap music, or I think he'd be doing something more big shows. Maybe in his own way, but I can't really compare him to anybody today. But
right,
I think he would have still been many. And
well,
he would have still been releasing.
I agree with you. And did he write any of his own music, Rick? Did Elvis write any of his own songs?
Actually, he did not write any of the music. But what the misconception is, Colonel Tom Parker was very smart in knowing that this makes usually more money than the singing artist or the band, and made a deal with guys like Otis Blackwell that wrote All Shook Up. And hey, if you give Elvis half the song titles, he'll record it. You'll make that much more money. It'll become, you got to share song title writing royalties. So Elvis is 45 from the 50s and 60s. They'll say Otis Blackwell for the songwriter.
Right.
And it was kind of ingenious of Colonel Tom, but I know it, and he didn't want to do that when Suspicious Minds, he said, I don't want my name on it. I don't want to take credit for that song. Tom Parker was against that.
Wow, that's amazing. A lot of stuff. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Ocean's Pit. You got the great Rick Lindy on, Chicago's finest, one of my favorites. And Rick,
you're always great, Tone. I appreciate it, man.
Well, thank you, brother. Real fast, I just want to say our connection was kind of bad, but you answered some great questions. Do you think, though, do you think Elvis died on his own right? I mean, do you think he knew he was dying, that's why he just kept doing it, or he just didn't care? I think he just gave up maybe on life. What do you think?
Here's what I think. I think, in a way, like me, as far as loving him, then I don't think that he would have taken his own life for her sake. Personal opinion. Others have thought he was on this downward spiral. He was depressed, that he had a rare bone cancer. Whether that's true or not,
all right.
I heard that he had a twisted colon. I heard that he had some other health problems, glaucoma, and couldn't see well. There's some evidence to that on him when he had lyric sheets, when he didn't know the words. He was looking at them up close. I tell you, having to wear glasses when I read.
Right. Yeah. So there was some health issues. I agree with that. Dennis, our friend Dennis, says Priscilla broke his heart. When Priscilla left, it probably hurt him even more, right?
Well, Priscilla broke his heart in some ways, but I don't think that Elvin about not being with her, because he did love. They split up. She claims she wanted to be more of a type of relationship, and that's why she broke up. Oddly enough, she ended up married, which is pretty weird, considering his state nowadays. But later with Ginger Alden, supposedly they were engaged. There's been some others have said they were never engaged, but I really think they were. I loved her, and she was the mother of his child. But I really surely loved women, and unfortunately, was not probably.
Right. I agree. I think I do believe with you, Rick. He did really love her. I think they really did love each other. Brenda says, I feel the drugs created the bloat. Body couldn't handle the lifestyle and the crazy hours. Brenda, thank you for your input. You're right about that. One last question, Rick. I know you got to go. And who influenced music more, you think, in the world? The Beatles or Elvis Presley?
Say that again. Beatles or Elvis Presley?
Yeah, who was more influential in the world of music? Who do you think was more influential, the Beatles or Elvis?
Well, it's a question because they both certainly are legendary, have worldwide that never seems to go away as an individual. I think was the most popular full band with different people in it. I think the Beatles, most famous band.
Right. Well, Rick, to be honest with you, all the answers that are coming up right now from the people that are watching saying Elvis did more for music. And I think so too, because Elvis was there before the Beatles. But it's great that we have them both. I want to thank you for your time, brother. I appreciate it very much. Thank you for your time, Rick. And let's get together soon. All right, buddy?
Yes, thank you. And I wanted to say thanks for hitting about the technology interruptions. You asked me while I was driving on the.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Look, it's just great to have you on, Rick. And that's all that matters, man. I thank you for your time. You've always been a good friend. You're always there when we need you, when people reach out to you for charity events, and you're always giving your all, whether there's 10 people in the audience or whether there's 1,000 people in the audience. That's what I love about you, man. You hold no punches. Always, Rick Lindy, remember, man, stick to what you love, baby. And there's always going to be haters in this world. We know that. But you know what? Get up there on stage and try doing what we do. It's not easy. And thank you for always entertaining people. I love what you do, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And if I may say, we worked together about 11 years ago with the late great Phil Vaughn.
Phil Vaughn, yes.
Got to know each other. Our good buddy Andy Trippy and Olivia Trippy, whose birthday was yesterday.
Happy birthday, Olivia, yesterday. Yeah, AKA Mrs. Jones. Yeah.
And no matter what, people try to interfere in the mud throwing on Facebook, tries to say different things about different people that aren't true. But we're brothers in song and monster models, and use oil paints and
Yeah.
I can.
We're gonna, Rick, you know what? I'm gonna have to have you on in September, maybe just to show your models to the people. I think we need to do a show on our models, maybe in September, because you are incredible. I just seen the Dracula one you did. Fantastic, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Rick Lindy is on. We got to go on, Rick. Thank you so much, Rick, for your time, and let's talk, okay, brother?
Thank you so much. God bless everybody out
Thank you,
there.
brother.
God bless you and Laura. And
You got it, my.
thank you for having me on. Take care now.
You got it, Rick. Thank you, brother. Rick Lindy, everybody. Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. Elvis died, age of 42, August. Horrible. The day the world stood still. Sorry for the bad connection, but thank you so much, everybody that tuned in. Now, we still got some time left, so let's get to some headlines, folks. Little headlines. Are we ready? Happy belated birthday to Dave Crosby of Crosby, Stills, and Nash. Of course, before that, he was with the Byrds. So bye-bye, Lori. Thank you. I'm no scientist, ladies and gentlemen, but has anyone ever tried to, this is funny. Someone sent this in. I thought this was real funny. I thought you guys would like this. Anyway, if you just tuned in, that was a great Rick Lindy talking about the anniversary, 45th anniversary of Elvis Aaron Presley, who passed away on this date back in 1977 at the age of 42 years old. I am no scientist, but has anyone ever tried using the spray they put in bowling shoes to kill COVID and monkeypox? Thank you, James, for mentioning that. Remember that? You used to go bowling, used to give them your shoes, they'd spray with some, and miraculously, everything is gone. So if they get that bowling spray and start sending one to everyone, a can to everyone's home, we might not get COVID or monkeypox anymore. There you go. Happy birthday. That's absolutely right. Our prayers go out to our good friends, Maggie, Eliota, folks, of course, Ted's wife, of course. She came home from work and her house was in flames, on fire. According to the Maggie and her post, it started from a 20-year-old stove with bad wires. 3 of her dogs died and 1 cat. Of course, lost all her memories and stuff, but we're praying for that for Maggie. And she's got a GoFundMe page. You might want to go to that and help Maggie out. Maybe us musicians out there can put a little concert together. That they were doing one for Ted. Maybe we can do one and combine them both and do something to help Maggie out. Thank God she was okay. But all the memories, she lost 3 dogs and a cat of a house fire, a 20-year-old kitchen stove with bad wire. Very dangerous, folks. So, but thank God, Ted's niece. Thank you, Albert. Ted's niece. So let's hope everything goes good with that. Today is National Creamsicle Day. I was never a creamsicle guy, but hey, people like it. What are you going to do? Hey, folks, I know we're not supposed to talk politics, and it's not really politics, but you ever look at the pictures that they show on CNN of all the people that were involved in the January 6 riots towards the Capitol building? Did you ever notice there's a picture, ladies and gentlemen, of Michael Voss? Michael Voss, that's V-O-S. Michael Voss is the son-in-law of Nancy Pelosi. And he posed with Jackie Alegi, a.k.a. remember the guy with the giant horns and the Viking hat? They pose with a picture in front of each other at the Congress on January 6th. That's Nancy Pelosi's son-in-law. Wow. I didn't even know that. Now, that's pretty fucked up there, folks. Google it yourself. Michael Voss, V-O-S, posing with the picture of that Jake Alegi, I think if I'm pronouncing his name right, on CNN. They showed the picture on the January 6 riots. Interesting. That's suspicious, Carol. Put that together, my dear friend. Also, National Filet Mignon Day for all you steak eaters, which actually that was yesterday, folks. 26 days to NFL kickoff. Are you ready for football, folks? The Chicago Bears beat the Kansas City Chiefs 19-14. The question was, the Bears showed up, the Kansas City Chiefs didn't. I don't think that Bears are better than the Chiefs. I just don't think the Chiefs, they just didn't show up. So just my opinion. Doesn't mean a lot, but that's what it is. Ocean's Pit, we had Rick Lindy on, folks, of course, talking about the death of Elvis Presley. Let's see. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. For tomorrow's going to be good, folks. Thursday, my lovely wife Laura will be with me. And Friday, the great Tom Dreesen will be my guest. Comic legend Tom Dreesen will be my guest this Friday, August 19th on Ocean's Pit, live from the studio. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. The great Tom Dreesen. Sox kiss ass. Yes, they kicked. I did not know that. I have seen Presley again at its finest. Nothing happened to the Democrats. Roseanne, you're absolutely right. I mean, there's a picture of Michael Voss, Nancy Pelosi's son-in-law. Wow. That doesn't get too much coverage, does it, folks? We're going to leave it at that. CNN, this is horrible about this news, according to CNN, folks. Here it is. Around 1 million children in London. We're trying to give them the polio booster shot after the virus was found in the sewerage in London. The polio got polio booster shots, over 1 million children in England, to get the booster shot for polio because the virus was found in the sewerage in London, England. Now, sewerage isn't bad enough here. I heard the sewers in London are even worse. I wouldn't know. I'm not there. But this stuff, you can Google it yourself on CNN. Crazy stuff here, folks. How about this guy? Another story according to CNN. And CNN, folks, is the channel where they have more employees than they do viewers. But this has got interesting stuff coming out of some of this stuff. Hear about this, folks. Gentleman's name was Victor Hugo. At the age of 30 years old, his quote on CNN says, according to the New York Post, "I got drunk, I got passed out, and I ended up in a coffin." He was up for a human sacrifice, folks, in Bolivia on August 1st. Some cult following got this guy drunk, passed out. He woke up in a coffin. He would have been a human sacrifice. New York Post, Google it on CNN, Google it from the New York Post. Victor Hugo at the age of 30. That's why they won't release the 14,000 hours of video. Of course they won't, Roseanne. Of course they won't. I mean, it's out there. It's out there. Well, how about this, man? Going somewhere, get drunk. He passed out. He wakes up in a coffin. He was going to be a human sacrifice, some human sacrifice in Bolivia. Holy cow. What a weekend that was, folks. I love this. You ever see that thing on Facebook? There's a robber that goes up to a guy and he goes, "Give me all your money." And the guy goes, "I'm a politician." Then he goes, "Better yet, give me back all my money." I love that quote. Love it very much. We got, like I said, just crazy stuff happening, folks. And the list goes on and on of stuff that's happening in this world. We got some more stories here. Brittany Griner, WNBC, NBA basketball player, the women's basketball. Brittany, because she's in jail because she broke the law. It's not our jobs bringing her home at the expense of our nation's interest and security. The woman broke the law. If it was me and you, we would have been locked up. She got the 9 years. She broke the law. I don't give a shit who she is. She's going to stay there. But we don't have to get in a war over something like this. It's crazy what this world is, what people can get away with and what they can't. Crazy stuff. Really is. All right, folks, listen to this. What's the difference between booze and weed? The question of the day, what's the difference between alcohol and marijuana? Difference is 5 guys who smoke, 5 drunks that drink a lot of booze can start a fight. 5 guys who smoke weed will start a rock and roll band. Love that quote. You got to love it. Thank you. Oh, that's very good. Chicago Police Department is finally honoring the great Dennis Farina, folks. He was a cop. He died, of course, July 13th, 2022. Died at the age of 69 years old. The great Dennis Farina, Chicago Police Department is honoring him this past weekend for the great actor of policeman, Chicago policeman turned actor, the great Dennis Farina. Met Dennis many times, came into Jilly's a few times. Great guy. It is a gorgeous day, Denise. It is a gorgeous day. Also today, August 15th, 1969, Bethel Woods, New York City, one of the biggest first rock concerts called Woodstock was held there first. People ask me, did I ever watch the Woodstock movie? No. Do I care of any of the acts that came out of Woodstock? That really wasn't my type of music. I never really cared for a lot of those bands that were in Woodstock, even though it was a big event. But absolutely. August 15th, 1969, Woodstock. 89 buses packed with illegal aliens arrived in New York City yesterday. 89 buses packed with illegal aliens. Was there, Dennis, you were there at Woodstock? Oh, I'd love to get you on the show, Dennis. I'd like to know what it was like in Woodstock. So, Dennis, if you're interested, let's get Dennis on the show in September, because I'm starting having heavy rotation guests back in September. Starting in September, be more heavy rotation of guests. But I'd like to get Dennis on and talk about someone who was actually at Woodstock. Pretty cool. That'd be a good story. We're going to get to some of these questions tomorrow, folks, because we're running out of time. Let's get to some birthdays. We got some birthdays, folks. Ian McGlynn, he is one of the drummers from the band Europe. They were from Sweden. Final Countdown, big hit for them. Dick Sayed, if you're watching, Dick, your son's birthday yesterday. Happy birthday to your son. The Olivia Trippi, of course, Andy Trippi's wife, have celebrated a birthday. One of the best drummers to come out of Chicago, folks. He was with the Thumbs. I don't know if he's originally from Chicago, but the great Tommy Aldridge. I know Andy Trippi's watching, Anthony Napolitano, Tony Toto. Everybody loves Tommy Aldridge. Would have been 72 years old today. He was also in Whitesnake. I think he might have been in Journey. I'm not sure, but I know he was in Whitesnake. The great Tommy Aldridge. There you go. That's it. The great songwriter Jimmy Webb, Wichita Lightman, and a lot of other great songs. The great Jimmy Webb. Mrs. Ditka, Mike Ditka's lovely wife, celebrates a birthday today. Coach Mrs. Ditka's wife, happy birthday. The great Edie Gourmet, partners, of course, of Steve and Edie, of Steve Lawrence and Edie Gourmet. Edie Gourmet celebrates a birthday. Bobby Helms, who wrote Jingle Bell Rock, celebrates a birthday today, everybody. British actress Leslie Ann Warren celebrates a birthday. Chicago guitarist legend Dave Urich celebrates a birthday. David, one of the great guitar players from the Chicagoland area, celebrates a birthday here today. Our son Joey Fink celebrates birthday coming up on Tuesday. So we're all going to be at Mars this Saturday to help celebrate our son Joey's birthday. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, Santana was the best. There you go, Tony Bisek. And there you go. You're a great drummer, so you know, Tony, what it's like. The great Tommy Aldridge. All right, let's get to some other stories here. We're almost running out. We are running out of time. How about this, folks? August 15th, 1948, CBS TV, the very first TV news show, was on August 15th, 1948. The anchorman was Douglas Edward. The very first time there was a live news broadcast, August 15th, 1948. Very, very cool. And also, folks, we got some Beatle information, if I'm correct here. Jerry's listening. Albert's listening out there. August 15th, 1965, the Beatles played Shea Stadium. 55,000 people went to see the Beatles at Shea Stadium, August 15th, 1965. And last but not least, I mentioned it yesterday on the show, and I'll mention it again. And you look at the Post yesterday, the New York Post, the CDC, too little, too late, disband the CDC. It was on the front page of the New York Post, the CDC, unreliable as it is. We're going to be done, folks. I got a lot more stuff to talk about. We didn't get to talk about because we had Rick on. And, of course, I am sorry for some of the bad connection. I called Rick Lindy this morning. I called a couple guys. I was going to have a whole panel. My buddy Joe Devereaux, Ronnie B. Elvis, and I was going to have like 4 guys on and talk about Elvis. They, of course, had previous plans, but Rick was kind enough to stop what he was doing and stepped into a grocery store and tried to do the show and did the best he can with connections when you're outside like that. So sorry for the bad connection. But again, thank you so much to my good buddy Rick Lindy. And thank you all for watching today, folks. And we're back again tomorrow, another show. Thursday, my lovely wife will meet me. And Friday, the great Tom Dreesen live on Ocean's Pit. We'll talk about his brand new show. One man from Shoeshine Boy to Sinatra. a one-man show that he does. We've opened for Tom a couple of times. He's also going to be a big show coming up in Joliet, and he's going to be on the great Tom Dreesen. Of course, we'll talk about Tom being Frank Sinatra's opening act for over 20 years. It's going to be interesting, some stories that the great Tom Dreesen has, and I'll be very, very excited about that. Folks, don't forget, Thursday night will be at Postatanos in Oak Brook with Lisa P. And Rhino Ryan. Friday, Jerry Jams Renda and yours truly will be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse. And Saturday, Mars, live, outside. It's supposed to rain a little bit off and on, but it's going to be good. Come out anyway. 4 to 8 p.m. with Rhino Ryan and Tony Toto. That's going to be Mars this Saturday, everybody. I want you all, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I want to thank, of course, last but not least, let's talk about our buddies, Patriot Funding Incorporated, commercial money lending at its finest. Dave Antonelli can help you out when the time is right. Timing is everything with Patriot Funding Incorporated. Give Dave a call at 630-675-4730. Commercial money lending at its finest, and a lot of cannabis sales as well. So be very good. You guys have been a great audience today. Thank you so much. Again, sorry for the bad connection. That's what happens when you do live. But tomorrow I'll be back. And then Thursday, my lovely co-host, Laura Ocean, will be talking about the dating scene. We're going to even come up with a date where we're going to have guys and women get together, meet at one someplace, and do a date night. It's going to be interesting. Laura Ocean with me on Thursday. The great Tom Dreesen on Friday. A lot of good stuff. Everybody, you have a great day. Don't forget, support local establishments, live entertainment, buy local, shop local, and the great words of Sir Richard Starkey, Ringo Starr, peace and love. Be kind to everybody, brother. Mama D, we love you, honey. Bye-bye.